What's going on, everyone? It's Ben from Yugioh from Zero with a very exciting announcement video as I talk about the start of the Yugioh Retro Power League. Now, this is going to be a brand new way to play Retro Yu-Gi-Oh! Online. And it's going to be very, very exciting because I think it can really draw together all the different various types of people playing Retro Yu-Gi-Oh! From the GOAT players to the Edison players to the Tengu Plant players to every sort of format out there under the sun. I think that there will be a place for you in this league. So what is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Retro Power League? Well, we modeled it basically off of similar war leagues like the GOAT format war league or the Edison format war league. These large competitions allowed you to join big teams and play a bunch of games with them, sort of get to know each other, improve together as a team, and then the winning teams would go on to a major finals event, a playoffs event that would be, pitting them against each other in large team Ironmans. And it's just a very, very cool system that GOAT format and Edison format have managed to set up. And so we're sort of borrowing aspects of that to make a system for the broader general community. So people who like GOAT and Edison, but also people who like formats that don't really have enough people to play these sort of war leagues in. So that's our goal going into this. And in order to explain more clearly how exactly it will work, I'm going to put up a bit of a graphic on the screen here. Now, this graphic may look confusing at first, but once you know how it works, it actually becomes very straightforward. So let me explain what this is. Now, in the Retro Format Power League here, you are going to be on a team of 5 to 8 players, and every week your team is going to play against another team in this sort of lineup. So you'll have one person on the team, player A, play in GOAT format against another person on the other team. Player B will play in Edison format against that team. Player C will play in Tengu the first week at least, and then the first week, player D will play Critter, and player E will play Teledad. And then as the week goes on, GOAT and Edison will always happen. So there'll always be a GOAT and Edison match each week between members of each team. And the other formats will cycle. So for player C, they'll cycle between Tengu and Hat because those are other formats that are very popular, but they're not quite as popular as GOAT and Edison. So, we wanted to have a slot for the Tengu and Hat players, but we have it switching like this because they're not quite at the level of popularity of GOAT and Edison just yet. And for players D and E, some people expressed that they wanted to sort of do sort of a progression through the formats, and that's what those are sort of meant to do. They also highlight more obscure formats that you might not necessarily have played before, and it can occasionally be like a true test of skill as you're diving into a format that you're not really familiar with, your opponent's not really familiar with, and you're seeing who can sort of come to a better grasp of it in the moment. But also for people who do like these more obscure formats, then this can be your time to shine. Like if you're a big Critter format player and you're really good at Critter format, then that week one, you're going to have a really good time as player D. And so it makes for a very interesting dynamic that's a bit different from something like a GOAT format war league or an Edison format war league, where if you're on those teams and you're generally good at GOAT or you're generally good at Edison, you will generally be pretty good for your team throughout the entire thing. In this event, people will have different specialties and they'll have to sort of balance where those specialties are best used. But we'll go through a certain number of weeks with this. This is sort of an example schedule. This is subject to change based on the number of teams we have. But the ideal thing would be like a 12-week schedule or something like that to match other war leagues in the past, and it will go through a variety of formats. So the player D section is sort of going through the earliest formats in the game's history from the DM era to the end of the GX era, and the player E eras is going to be from early 5Ds to even Arc V with Clown and Draco Zoo. So this graph is on the Yugioh Retro Power League Discord server, which I will link in the description of this video. That is where we're going to be holding these events. So definitely head on over there. And this will be the main structure of the season. Now, at the end of the season, the teams that have scored the best among their conferences that they're in will be moving on to the playoffs. And the playoffs are very exciting because they will actually be in a randomized format. So no one knows what the playoffs are going to be in until they start. And then after that's randomly chosen from the list of formats in column D and E, you'll have a week for preparation, a week for playtesting and working with your team to figure out what the best strategies for that is, what you're going to be bringing against the other teams that you're facing off against in the playoffs. And that will be sort of a single elimination tournament in the end to crown the ultimate winner of the league. So we're really excited about this. We're hoping that we can get a lot of people playing this, and hopefully it will serve as a way to, sort of connect a bunch of different parts of the retro Yu-Gi-Oh community. It would be a lot of fun if that happened. And at the very least, even if we don't accomplish that grand goal, hopefully it should still be a really fun time and a great way to play a lot of great Yu-Gi-Oh in a pretty fun, competitive, but also collaborative setting. So if this sounds interesting to you, head on over to the Discord server. If you're not already on a team, then there are ways to find teams in that server as well. So don't worry about that. Whoever you are, there should be a team for you. So I hope that you all enjoy this, and head on over to the Discord, linked in the description, if you want to play in that. So spread this along to anyone who might be interested in it, and I hope that you all join. I'm looking forward to it.